Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're having a great day so far today. So today we are going to be talking about something Kathleen Kennedy actually just announced, which I never really thought she would. She goes on to say something about Solo and saying that, well, let's just read it. Lucasfilm seems convinced that deepfake technology can help them avoid Solo's meager box office earnings. So I'm very surprised that she's missing the mark on this and that they're just not owning up to what the reality is, at least in my opinion, in a lot of fans' opinions. Like, are they just not aware, or are they just like playing, or like what's the deal here? Anyway, speaking to Vanity Fair, Kennedy describes recasting as an experiment that pointed the way for future projects. There should be moments along the way when you learn things, Kennedy admits. Now it does seem so abundantly clear that we can't do that. For some, it's confirmation that Kennedy and the Star Wars team believe that an algorithm can recreate Ford's roguish charm better than an actor like Ehrenreich. So this is, in my opinion, so unbelievably whack and wrong that I really want to sit down and just chill with you guys and talk about it. So, in my opinion, I don't think Solo bombed because it was a bad film or because there wasn't enough deepfake of Alden Ehrenreich. You know, Shamook, who Lucasfilm hired, Shamook is a YouTuber and he does deepfaking. He's one of the best out there. And if you haven't checked out his channel, go check him out. He put Harrison Ford's face on Alden Ehrenreich's face in Solo, and it was unbelievably accurate. You know, Alden's acting was amazing. You know, the voice, the cadence, the movements, the body language, everything was great. Everything was perfect. And you could see it when you put Harrison's face on him. I didn't have a problem with Solo. It's Solo. It's not Luke Skywalker. But the issue, that brings me to the point, the issue I think that really is at hand here and what they're missing is that this had nothing to do with those things, and that is not the reason that Solo bombed, in my opinion. I think Solo bombed because 6 months earlier, or not even, several months earlier, The Last Jedi had come out. And it was, I think objectively, the one thing in Star Wars that caused the biggest rift. And some people might say, well, what about the prequels? I don't think the prequels caused as big as a rift as The Last Jedi did, as Rian Johnson's project. And I say that for many reasons, because I think it was so much more controversial. I think because it destroyed a character that was a legendary character. And I think it did that in a time where we were supposed to see this character at his height. And we had been waiting for him for almost 40 years to see this. And we just kind of get, you know, like a bait and switch, and it's just, you know, we get our expectations subverted and whatever, you know. It was a very disjointed trilogy. It was a disjointed film in itself, and it kind of just stands alone. Like it's not really a connection between 7 or 9, and 9, of course, redeems the character, but he's already dead. It's too late, you know. And there were some issues I had with that. Like that was great, but well, at this point, what's stopping Luke from just now teleporting to Exegol and fighting Palpatine? You know, why not? He did it as a corporeal. He did it for real, right? He projected his essence over there, and he was a hologram. So why can't he do it now that he's in the Force and just, you know, teleport, actually be there? He raised the X-wing, he grabbed the lightsaber, so why can't he do it now? The real issue here isn't the deep faking or lack thereof. I think Kathleen and Lucasfilm, I think the issue is that if you just make great Star Wars projects, fans won't boycott things. They won't be hurt. They won't be pissed off. You know, Star Wars is not like any other franchise where you can just, as I said, hire a new person to come in, write a story, and, you know, put some John Williams music over it and some lightsabers and, you know, call it a day and expect to have very happy customers. It's so much bigger than that, in the sense that you need to really understand these characters, I feel like, and like the heart of them, the essence, the soul of them. And I'm not saying you have to like grow up with these characters and be a massive Star Wars fan. That helps. I would prefer that, but I don't want to gatekeep, you know, like what it takes to be a director or something, because what do I know, right? I'm just a fan. I think if you at least draw a curve of where George started with these characters and go this way, and you have your story, and it's like somewhere here, it's like, well, this is not continuing with this curve that George made. So I think if they maybe took a little more time, did a little more research, did a little more Star Wars homework, they could really end up somewhere closer to where maybe George was. And then if you have the John Williams music and the lightsabers and the Force and the Jedi and all that, then it'll click a little better. But if you just kind of do your own thing, especially with the characters that already had a trajectory, they were like pointing a certain way, and then they end up like over here, and you're like, well, what? I've been waiting 40 years for him to be over there. We're like, well, what's he doing here? Like, this is not, he's a different person now. I think when you create something that creates that much of a rift with fans, passionate fans and people, I mean, this is Star Wars. This is, this is the real deal. You can't half-ass this. This is not like something that you can just slap together. So I think if they took a little more time and they checked a little better, like now they have Dave Filoni, they have Jon Favreau. If they had a few more, perhaps, people that came from George Lucas's time and were trained by George, like Dave Filoni, assuming that Dave wasn't really in charge all that much, which I don't believe he was. I think Rian had, the keys completely. Then I think, it would avoid things like this, where beautiful projects like Solo would bomb. I mean, there's no reason for it. Another thing, the article goes on to mention, or a different article goes on to mention that Solo made like 330 million or something like that. I think the reason for that isn't because the film was so unbelievably expensive. I think the reason for that was because they had two different productions, right? They stopped filming pretty much near the end, and they hired a whole new team. They hired Ron Howard, who I'm a fan of. And so I think if they were just a little bit more, perhaps, productive with their planning, or efficient with their planning, or planned a little better. Planning seems to be the issue with, the sequel trilogy and with Solo. Then I think they would have saved some money there. And I think that even put them at 500 million, if I'm not mistaken, because it was like 200 million for the first batch with the other writers, and that got fired, and then it was like another 300 or something with Ron. Something like that. Anyways, it didn't make money, and it has nothing to do with the deep faking of the talented actor, in my opinion. It has to do with what came before it, which was, The Last Jedi. And as we can see, Star Wars seems to be going on a bit of an upwards trend now. Hoping Kenobi is going to be everything we want it to be, and it's not going to, follow another Last Jedi feel with, Anakin and Obi-Wan and Vader. That would destroy me and so many other people. Then I think, we're going to be good. We can recover from this. And I think I guarantee you, if you create another project just like The Last Jedi and you release something afterwards, regardless of what it could be or what it is, it's not going to do well, let alone Solo, which it's not like you're creating, Vader or Luke Skywalker or Yoda. It's Solo. Don't get me wrong. Solo is cool. He's a very, very cool character, but he's not Anakin Skywalker. He's not Darth Vader. It's not Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, all of those things combined, I think, is the reason why the movie did so poorly. But I just want to say that, Kathleen, I really don't think it has anything to do with deep faking or not deep faking. But anyways, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it has to do with Alden Ehrenreich being deep faked or not being deep faked, and that is the sole reason that Solo bombed? Or do you think it has to do with it being a poor movie, in your opinion? I liked it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was fun. I like Ron Howard's work. Or do you think it had to do with the fact that Last Jedi came out? A lot of people really loved the film, and a lot of us really didn't like the film. So, I don't know. That's my speculation on it. That's my theory. It's my Star Wars theory. And I'd love to know what you guys think too. So, thanks for watching this vid and listening to my thoughts. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you, and leave a like. And I will see you all in the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you, always.